Hello everyone. Monitoring and evaluation system. This is what we will be discussing in today's video as far as what exactly is the system that needs to be followed. To understand a system, we need to understand what is monitoring and what is evaluation. Monitoring is nothing but all about data that has been generated, probably collated and studied for any particular program, for any particular activities, for any particular project. It's an ongoing process. Remember, monitoring is ongoing process. Monitoring is often routine process, the part and parcel of your job work. Focus on the activities and output compared to the target thereby. So monitoring exactly answers the question, are we doing the work that we are planned? Is it going as per our plan? So data collection definitely answers to a specific questions. What we are looking now, this answer, the specific question, the specific data that we are talking about it, we need to understand, comprehend and analyze, and that is what evaluation is all about it. Remember, evaluation is not routine, evaluation is not ongoing, evaluation is at the end of an activity. So it's a periodic activity. It might be 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter, 1 year. It's evaluation of work, what work have you completed, where the project is standing. Focuses is just on the outcome, on the impact of the project thereby. So what is the question that evaluation tries to answer? Are we effective enough with our activities? How is our efficacy for that matter? So monitoring and evaluation, let me come up with a classic example. I'm just trying to read it out and give you a situation. Let's say a local researcher conducts a study to determine if there are more people with symptoms with TB. TB stands for tuberculosis, coming to clinic as a result of media campaign to promote TB screening. Now, please understand, this is a case where there is a media campaign or there is a sensitization campaign in the society, in the community with regard to tuberculosis. As a result, what happens is people get sensitized, people get aware, and they walk into a health clinic or any possible health checkup, and that is where they are being screened and people have been found as if they are suffering from tuberculosis. Now, is the sudden increase in the number of patients of TB or tuberculosis is a result of the media campaign or the sensitization campaign goes around it? What is it all a result? Does it come under the purview of monitoring or evaluation? The answer is simple. It is evaluation. Please understand, this is nothing but evaluation about the campaign that goes around it. Now, let me give it to another example for you. A district manager reports on how many nurses were trained on an interpersonal communication skills for her quarterly donor report. Now, again, a simple campaign where nurses have been given trained for an interpersonal communication. They have been given skills how to handle queries and probably make people comfortable, have genuine dialogue with the customers, client, and everyone within the community per se. Now, if this is what a manager's report is going to go around it, what will the report reflect? It is nothing but monitoring. It will tell whether we are doing on the right path or not. So yes, the first campaign of tuberculosis was all about evaluation, where we start a campaign, sensitization campaign. As a result, the influx of patients increases who would not have come to the health clinic if they were not sensitized in the first place. They would have carried out with their duties. But here in case, the other part of evaluation is where nurses have been trained and the managers wants to report whether their training has been given the requisite outcome or not. So this is a part of a monitoring part. So monitoring and evaluation answers different question, and that is what I wanted to hammer it to you in the previous 2 minutes that we were discussing around it. If we do not ask good question about our activities, we will never get useful data. That is what is required for us. That is what is the requirement of the day. Ultimate goal of an effort are broad and population level. Remember, that is what we look into it. Achieved over a long period of time, years, through combined efforts of multiple programs, even simultaneous programs which are running simultaneously, parallelly to one another. Now that is what we are looking into it in a broad population, a broad circle. That sensitization should take place and people should get aware of it. So there can be a decrease in morbidity and mortality due to tuberculosis in any of the country and almost country that we want to go around it. Overall prevalences reduces by more than 50% because the symptoms have been checked, people take proactive actions, and things have been curtailed from spreading. Eliminate the stigma of tuberculosis in the communities thereby. So what is program monitoring and evaluation? Please understand, monitoring is a routine process of data collection and measurement of progress towards program objective. That is monitoring. Whereas an evaluation is the use of socially researched methods to systematically investigate an achievement of a program result per se. That what we are looking out here is evaluation per se. Allow me to point out the differences and similarities between monitoring and evaluation. Monitoring is a continuous process, whereas evaluation is a specific activity or a moment. Monitoring provides information on a day-to-day decision making as on when on adjustment is required. Evaluation to provide recommendation to strategic decision making process. Altogether, it is an end of the event activity. So it gives recommendation, right? Monitoring is carried out by the project team. Evaluation is carried out by the evaluation team, internal or external to the project team. Monitoring for project team to adapt, improve, and impact the donor. Evaluation for project team and the donors lessons that has been learned. Now, this is what we look into it. Remember, the monitoring system should follow, should provide, should give information for evaluation. In fact, evaluation is based upon the outcomes of the monitoring process thereby. The comparison thereof. Remember, monitoring and evaluation, the frequency for monitoring would be regular and ongoing. Evaluation is episodic or after a period, after an end of an event. It's after certain term. It's not regular, not ongoing. It's periodic. It's episodic. The main action for monitoring is to keeping a track, oversight. But main action for evaluation would be assessing the thing. The basic purpose of monitoring is to improve efficiency, adjusting work plan. The basic purpose of evaluation is improve effectiveness, impact, future programs. The focus of monitoring is to input, output, process outcomes and work plans. Whereas the focus on evaluation is effectiveness, relevance, efficiency, impact and sustainability. The information sources for monitoring is routine system, field visits, as on when on basis people are observing, people are recording, the stakeholder meeting, the outputs, the input, the report, the rapid assessment, everything comes under monitoring. But in cases of evaluation, it is everything that is there in monitoring plus the service. That is pre-service, pre the project and post the project. So there might be a pre-project surveys and post-project surveys, the special study that goes around it. Monitoring is usually undertaken by the program managers, the community worker, the supervisor, the communities, the beneficiaries, the funders, the everyone who is associated with the project is undertaken by monitoring. Whereas in evaluation is the external evaluator, is the community beneficiary, project program managers, supervisors, and funders that comes around here that needs to be taken into consideration. Monitoring is a continuous, systematic, critical review of operation in order to measure the evaluations, adjust them according to the circumstances, and project objectives as on when on basis. Remember, how do we build those monitoring system that comes around it? This is the flow that comes absolutely. This is what we are looking into it. So from an objective that we design upon, we start measuring, making some specific indicators. This is what is required. We try to collect information, sources of information, choice, design, and test of tools and data collection is what we are looking into it. Responsible identification, training required. Data collection, processing, analysis, decisions, and corrective action is what we are hampering around it. Now, this is how do we build a monitoring system per se. There are 5 steps to it. First is your objective. Second is your indicators that you want to go around it. How do you plan your indicators or get data for your indicators is information, the sources of the information, the choice and the design and the test of the tools, and responsible for attention. Now, what we are looking into it, we are looking nothing but data collections, processing, analysis, decision, and corrective actions thereby. So what should a monitoring and evaluation system measure? It should measures everything. Remember, from input, absolutely from input, it should be talking about financial, human, material resources, where we are spending. In terms of activities, tasks undertaken to transform the inputs to output, let's say building of a school, distribution textbooks, etc. and etc. So I'm just giving you an example for you to everything, right from inputs. As we go from here to the top, what happens around it. Let's say output is goods and service which is being produced. Let's say the number of school bills or uniform tests, anything that can be taken about. What are the outcomes? Let's say Axis use of satisfaction with the service. People are happy with it. Let's say the outcome would be there would be a definite increase in the number of schools being enrollment being done in their schools, or number of customers being increased in your business, and so on and so forth. Impact, it's an effect of a dimension of a well-being. It means it improves our literacy thereby. Some example of outcome indicators are it outcome, let me say, improved road network. That means indicators a percentage of roads are in good condition, average number of travel time has decreased. Improved public sector performances, let's say outcome of this thing would be percentage of population satisfied with public sector services, tax collection, percentage of gross domestic product, GDP we are talking about it, improved health services, utilization rate of healthcare systems, centers, thereby increased tourism, number of tourists visiting the region per se, as on when on basis, how do we go across with it. What are we trying to address with the monitoring and evaluation system? What are the key questions? First and foremost, why are we carrying a monitoring and evaluation? The purpose thereof it, that is what is required. What are we trying to come up with information of the monitoring and evaluation system? Who needs it? Actually, about the information, the data points, who needs it? How will he or she corroborate those events, those news, those information for the next level? Who carries the monitoring and evaluation? How has this been carried around it? When should it be carried? At what time we are looking into it? And so on and so forth. So let us talk about the purpose. First and foremost thing, it improves the program implementation. Definitely, yes. Data on program progresses and implementation. Improve program management and decision making. Informs future programming. Informs stakeholders, accountability, donors, beneficiaries, and advocacies, as the case might be. This is the purpose that goes around. Improve program implementation. What are we looking into it? Inform stakeholders, as in the accountability, the donors, the beneficiaries, the advocacies, as the case might be. Who needs it? As in the person looking for those information from monitoring and evaluation. I am sure the top fellow in the organization, the managers, we are looking, the directors, the board of governors, the funders, the person, the agency who is actually funding a project. So yes, to improve the program implementation, managers required it. To inform and improve future programs, the donors, the government, the technocrats would be looking into it. To inform stakeholders, everyone, be it the government, be it the donors, be it the communities, be it the beneficiaries, everybody needs to understand the information thereby. Question is, if these are the people who requires those informations, the monitoring purposes, who does it? Who collects those information? Who collates those data? Who conducts the monitoring and evaluation? It can be the implementer, the program implementer. It can be the stakeholder, the beneficiary. Remember, monitoring and evaluation is the technical skill. It is a participatory project, as the case might be. Absolutely participatory in the nature per se. How to carry out monitoring and evaluation, the key features. Allow me to go around before we come to an end of the slide. First and foremost thing is the program framework. What we're looking into it. We need to analyze, systematically lay out program elements, what needs to be done, how we will go about doing it, identifying key elements to monitor. Remember the Pareto's rule, 20 is to 80. In fact, if you control 20% of the time, 80% of the cost will be under your control. Need to keep those Pareto's rule, follow those things. Determine and describe the measures that needs to be evaluation for monitoring and evaluation. Measures, which are the track things that needs to be, which are the indicators which are very pertinent, very important for the satisfaction of satisfactory outcome. Developing monitoring and evaluation framework and action plan, including data collection, analysis, reporting, dissemination of findings, and thereby what we are actually going around it. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video till the end.